Imagine waking up to a headline that sounds impossible. Japan might fight China, not because Japan was attacked but because of Taiwan. And one sentence from Japan's new prime minister just pushed the region closer to a crisis than any time since World War II. Here is what changed. Japan's prime minister was asked a direct question in parliament. When would Japan use collective self-defense? Her answer was simple and explosive. If China blocks or invades Taiwan, Japan could treat that as a threat to its own survival. That matters because it signals something Japan almost never says out loud. Japan could enter a Taiwan war even if Japan itself is not hit first. To understand why this is shocking, you need one thing. Article 9 of Japan's post-war constitution. Japan renounces war and the use of force to settle disputes. That is why Japan's military is not called an army. It is called the Self-Defense Forces. For decades, the mission was narrow. Defend Japan only if Japan is attacked first. But in 2015, Japan reinterpreted those limits, allowing collective self-defense, meaning Japan can use force to help an ally. If Japan's survival is at stake. Now the Prime Minister just connected that logic to Taiwan publicly, in Parliament. For the first time, China reacted with anger, harsh rhetoric followed, then came pressure steps that raise risk fast. Drones and aircraft activity near Japan's southern islands, Coast Guard ships near disputed waters, warnings to Chinese tourists and students, economic pressure, and cultural restrictions. This is how crises grow, not with one big move but with many smaller moves that build fear on both sides. There is another layer. History. China and Japan share a painful past war's occupation and memories that still shape politics today. So when Japan talks about expanding its military role, China does not hear defense. China hears old trauma returning. That does not mean war is inevitable, but it explains why every statement hits so hard. So why is Japan fundamentally altering its security posture now, after decades of constitutionally mandated pacifism? The shift isn't sudden, it's a response to a complex and deteriorating security environment. Tokyo perceives 4 distinct, yet interconnected risks that are compelling this historic change. First, the persistent threat from North Korea. Its advancing missile program, coupled with its nuclear ambitions and a pattern of unpredictable escalations, presents a direct and immediate danger. Second, the rise of China. Beijing's rapid military modernization and assertive posture are a major concern. This includes heightened pressure around the disputed Senkaku Islands. Furthermore, the potential for conflict over Taiwan is seen as a direct threat to Japan's own security and vital sea lanes. Third, there is growing uncertainty about the United States' long-term commitment to the region. As questions arise about the reliability of security alliances, nations like Japan feel compelled to enhance their own defensive capabilities. And fourth, the stark lesson of Ukraine. The invasion demonstrated that large-scale conventional warfare is still a reality in the 21st century. It served as a powerful reminder that geography alone does not guarantee protection from a determined aggressor. Japan is not just talking. Japan is spending. The goal is around 2% of GDP on defense and capabilities that were once unthinkable. Long-range missiles, more submarines, advanced aircraft and stronger defenses on the southern islands near Taiwan. Those islands matter because they sit near critical sea lanes. Japan imports most of its energy by sea. If waters near Taiwan become unsafe, Japan's economy feels it immediately. That is why Taiwan is not a distant issue for Tokyo. It is a survival question. Here is the scary part. At its core, this is a classic deterrence dilemma. Neither side truly wants a devastating war, which would shatter their economies and societies. But in this high-stakes environment, both sides are terrified of looking weak, of blinking first. Any concession could be seen as an invitation for the other to push harder. For Japan, Taiwan's fall isn't a distant problem, it's an existential threat. It would jeopardize the crucial sea lanes, the maritime highways for energy and trade that fuel its economy. For China, failing to achieve its goals with Taiwan would be a profound national humiliation, and it deeply fears a permanent strategic containment orchestrated by the US and its allies. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. Each defensive move, each military drill becomes proof for the other side that they must prepare more, arm faster, and stand firmer. That cycle can turn a political statement into a military incident in the blink of an eye. One drone straying off course, one collision at sea, one misread signal on a radar screen. In those moments, leaders have mere minutes to choose between de-escalation and a conflict that could spiral out of control. So the real question is no longer Japan and China could clash. The daily encounters in the East China Sea have already made that a constant risk. The question now is how close their ships and aircraft can get without a single miscalculation or accident triggering something much bigger. These aren't just empty waters, they are vital sea lanes, the maritime highways that carry a huge portion of global trade and energy supplies. A conflict here wouldn't just be a regional dispute, it would send shockwaves through the entire world economy. In our next episode, we will break down the 4 potential paths Japan could take in a Taiwan crisis. We'll explore everything from maintaining a purely defensive posture to invoking collective self-defense and engaging in full military intervention alongside its allies. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see that breakdown. This story is developing faster than most people realize, and understanding Japan's next move is key to understanding the future of global security.